YouTube, welcome back. It is Saint Otto with another 2K video. I hope y'all are ready for this video today, man. We got 2 or 3 important gameplay elements that I think NBA 2K22 can learn from the worst, well, from what everybody else says, the worst 2K there ever was, which is 2K18. Now, personally, I don't think 2K18 was that bad of a game in the moment. It was just very lackluster on how it made you feel as far as doing other things. But the actual gameplay itself, which this video is about, it was a very solid 2K, while it was out. So we're just going to start with our very first point, which is in gameplay, the flow, rhythm, the movement, and the overall gameplay when you're actually playing 2K18. Now, the gameplay in the background you see is of 2K18. I just played head-to-head with the computer on pro difficulty just so I can get a feel back for how 2K18 was in the moment to make sure I wasn't tripping while making this video. So, flow, rhythm, movement, everything in 2K18 was a very consistent pace. Nothing feels like it jumps speed. Even when you speed boost, even when people did speed boost, it never felt out of sync of what was going on. Now, maybe even some of the old clips with Steezo doing spin backs and everything, that was a little ridiculous. But in the moment, the flow of the game was very consistent. So you would play this game and you would know what you're getting, and it would end up being fun because that ultimately creates a skill gap. Because if you know how the gameplay consistently is, who can create something and be creatively better than the next? Now, I like the variety of animations that they had offered to you as a My Player whenever you would play in My Career or anything. You had a variety of animations that would chain off into different things. But I do acknowledge the fact that at some points the game may have gotten stale because of how it was. But I don't think that was necessarily because of the gameplay itself. When I'm saying like how the movement was, the dribbling system wasn't the best, but it was good enough. It was serviceable compared to, they were just trying to fix what they had wrong with 2K17 with the dribbling system, and they overcompensated, which seems to be a theme in 2K. They're overcompensators. They overcompensate when there's an issue. For example, in 2K18, the neighborhood was horrible. Nobody liked how gray it was, and it was just boring and a waste of time. So what did they do in 2K19? They streamlined it, made it colorful, and tried to make it better. Gameplay in this was very good. One of the highlights of the gameplay was pull-up jumpers. If there were any shot creators in 2K18, there wasn't many of them. I was personally one of them. I wasn't the shot creator build, but I would do a lot of pull-up shots because they were very consistent, and they were consistent for mid-range jumpers. Unless you had a specific build where you were a three-point shooter first and a shot creator second, that was the only build I can say had consistent three-point greens. Other builds could do it, but that was the only one that could consistently do it. I think pull-up jumpers, as far as 2K goes, should be highly restricted to mid-ranges. Like, if you're going to be consistent with that shot, it needs to be a mid-range, and you need to be able to create space. And how 2K18 was set up, you could create good space off of small moves, and there's a small skill gap in pull-up jumpers where you could get a consistent pull-up jumper off whenever you wanted. It didn't matter how close or how far you was. It was consistent animation that you could get, and you could actually learn to shoot. And I thought that was one of the biggest points of 2K18 that actually made it fun, is the consistency in the pull-ups and how they worked. And then the foot placement, so you wouldn't go extremely far when shooting a pull-up. And 2K allowed you to shoot a long pull-up. Like, if you notice in 2K21, next gen, if you try to shoot a pull-up, they'll literally stop you at the three-point line. Like, no, I feel like that's something that should be a skills gap, where if you want to take a pull-up three, you need to properly place your feet to set up for that pull-up three based off of the animation that you pick. So if I wanted to take a long two, I could if I wanted to, and it could be a pull-up. I don't have to set my feet and then take a standing still two just to take a long two. I can choose to shoot it however I want to shoot it. So I think that's really important in 2K. When it comes to shot selection, you need to be able to choose what shots you want to be able to take. I want to be able to take up pull-ups, even if it's going forward, fading away. If it's for two, I feel like the green windows for pull-up twos can be high as they want. But then when it comes to pull-up threes, I feel like there needs to be some type of limit on how people can green pull-up threes. It needs to be very situational, and it needs to be a case of where a player is hot and now they can do it. The three-pointer is the highest rated point in basketball. Part of the redundancy in 2K21 Next Gen now is that people can just green infinitely consistently, and it is just so annoying to play against because the green windows are so crazy. And then how the game is set up, people can make a 95 overall three-pointer, and I mean, you can't deny them that they should be able to hit shots, but at the same time, it's like, bruh, everybody can't hit a three like that. There needs to be some type of limitation on people hitting threes, I would personally say. Moving on to my second point, which is less canned animations. In 2K18, they had a very great balance of how you would get contact dunks. Just in this gameplay, you probably don't see me getting too many contact dunks, but if you go play 2K21 Next Gen, that is completely the opposite. You are getting a contact dunk at least 4 or 5 times a game. Especially if you're playing in my career. I don't know why, if you play in the rec or the park, it's just set up. I feel like you're just going to get dunked on every possession, to the point where I don't even think people care anymore. Like, I feel like ankle breakers and dunks, like contact dunks, should be a very special moment in the game that shouldn't happen too much. In 2K16, the best 2K ever, nobody ever got an ankle breaker. And there was never anybody complaining about defensive issues. Like, you would get ankle breakers for sure. Like, it was possible, but it was rare. And when people got it, it was a clip. You understand? So 2K18, I think they had a very good balance of, you know, the ankle breakers when they would pop up, and then also contact dunks when they would pop up. It wasn't just crazy everyone dunking on everyone. Even in 2K16, you could get contact dunks, but it wasn't crazy. It would happen. You would be like, oh my God, I just got a contact dunk. Okay, and then that just leads me pretty much to my last point, which was, you know, the floaters. I think 2K is missing out on a crazy opportunity with the floaters because they just completely ruined them after 2K18. They just were never anything that could be serviceable anymore. Like, if I go play 2K21 Next Gen right now, it doesn't matter if I'm wide open. With my shot timing off, I'm going to miss a floater. Why? I don't know. You don't even know what moves contribute to what attribute. Like, if floaters count for standing layup, how does that even make sense? It doesn't. You would never know it either. Like, I have a high driving layup, so why am I missing floaters? I mean, I don't have the badge on, but I think the teardropper badge is just very unnecessary for the game. It's like, why do I need to have a badge to put that on? It's for 2 points. It's a really bad shot because you get the absolute worst animations with floaters. But if you pull it out, I feel like you should hit it. Back in the older 2Ks, floaters used to be a go-to move, and you get in good space and you get in good position to pull it off. I feel like the smaller you are, the smaller guards, they should have a higher chance of hitting it. I don't know how you could balance that out, but if you're small, that should be the alternative. Even in 2K19 introduced doing a Euro step into a dunk and Euro step into a floater. The reason why nobody ever did a floater was because the floaters are inconsistent and you're going to miss. Even if you have teardropper on Hall of Fame, gold, or whatever, it's a useless badge. You guys need to just go back to 2K13 or 2K18 and where floaters were just, they are what they are. They're just a good layup. If they're open, they have a high chance of going in. Simple. That's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I want to appreciate y'all for listening. If you have any disagreements, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. This has been Saint Otto. I hope y'all drink some water because I need some after this video. But thank y'all for listening, and I'm out. Peace!